What's up, YouTube? In this video, I'm going to cover one of the most common questions I get asked when I'm at a concert, when I'm at a festival playing, when I'm just interacting with people after I've gotten done in the studio or so. Should I play a 4-string? Should I play a 5-string? I got you. I'll give you my perspective. But before I do that, I must ask you, if you're on this channel watching my videos and you like them, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, like it, share it with somebody. I'm bringing you a lot more this year. You know, I normally just play bass and I don't say much, but I want to share my perspective. And with that, we're going to lead off with the 4 versus the 5-string. Let's get it. The 4-string. You know, off the top of my head, I can think of 2 things specifically that I value the 4-string over a 5. One is it is lighter. In most cases, it's less bodies. Of course, it's less strings. It's less of whatever goes into the 5, right? We could be doing specs, but I can talk about that in another video, which I will cover. But for the most part, it's the lighter of the basses. And 2, it's the bass that challenges you to play down the neck as well as diagonal. It's the bass that forces you to be a little bit more creative because you're limited in terms of what you see everybody else doing, especially in church and, you know, different other genres that have the low B on the 5, or if people are playing 6s, you know, the C. But, you know, some of the most timeless music has come from the 4-string bass. You know, you got James Jamerson, you got people like Louis Johnson, Jaco Pastorius, Victor Wooten, Stanley Clarke, Marcus Miller. Man, this list, it's so many people that I could name. But in terms of influence, when my dad first, you know, started playing music for me, you know, you got Prince and yeah, like, again, the list can go on and on, but like my dad played a lot of the music from the era that was like the 70s, and I love this, you know, Verdine White. You got freaking Nathan East and all the foreplay stuff. God, don't get me started. But anyway, the 4-string causes you, in my opinion, to be more creative. So if you were to ask me, if you're starting out on bass, should you get a 4 or 5-string? I'm going to tell you 4-string. And many people would disagree, but if you asking me, I'm saying the 4-string. Why? It's less information that you need to take in on the instrument. And I think if you can understand the 4-string first, you can understand how to play clean, keeping your strings muted on, you know, by way of you playing in your right hand, your left hand, however you play, left or right. If you can understand how to maneuver through a 4-string, you have a lot easier time moving to the 5-string. You know, when I first got started, my granddad sat me down. I was playing quartet music. He sat me down with a 4-string bass, and that's where I got my start. It wasn't until I started playing in church when I picked up a 5-string. You know what, speaking of church, one of my favorite bass players that play a 4-string to this day, Thaddeus Tribbett. This man has made playing 4-string in church very cool. But anyway, let's talk about the 5. And now the 5-string. What's really cool about the 5-string, and it's pretty evident, right? It's the 5th string. It's that low B. It's that little bit of depth and the deepness and the richness you get from the term bass, right? When we talk about bass, I think it's been a tremendous help to what the instrument is. Now, not to negate the fact that a 4-string does it all. But this is one thing I will say to be careful of. When you have a 5-string, there's a tendency to want to just stay in this first position area, and you forget to play the rest of this instrument. Remember I told you on the 4-string you can play down and diagonal, and you're very creative. On the 5-string, you have a little bit more information, but sometimes, and I was guilty of this when I first got my 5-string, maybe about not long afterwards. As a matter of fact, I do have that bass. My dad, sidebar, I still have this bass to keep me humble, to keep me remembering where I came from. And maybe like 2 years after the fact, my dad bought me this bass when I finally subbed for him at church. And he, you know, when you that kid that you just can't wait to get your shot. I finally got my shot. I understood why I needed a 5-string, playing all that Fred Hammond and I don't know what all we played, but anyway, yeah. This is RBX, Yamaha RBX 775. Yeah. But anyway, back to the point. The issue that I was dealing with, and I wasn't that much aware of it until I got around like other bass players, was with the more information, in a weird way, was a lack of exploration. And it's because on a 5-string, it's so easy to get comfortable sitting in first position that you forget to explore and learn the rest of the neck, right? So I remember I told you on the 4-string, you go that way, you go diagonal. On the 5-string, most cases, we gonna sit right here and we finna make it feel good. So that's one of the things I would say is a con of having a 5-string, but I think overall, 5-string has become my go-to for the versatility of what I'm doing. Most of the settings that I play in, with the exception of a few gigs that pretty much, I wouldn't say require, but the music is pretty much based on a 4-string flat wound situation, very similar, you know, very similar to the bass that I showed you a second ago with the 4. The 5-string is usually where I end up creating my music and music with my band, GW Southern, music with other people. But yeah, 5-strings are great. And I can, you know, again, I'm gonna dive into the 5-string stuff a little bit later on in another video, but I'm just giving my comparison, but you know, shoot. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it answered your question of the 4 versus the 5. Like I said, I like both. I'm gonna be diving deeper into both of those instruments, a little bit more talking specs, talking about brands and such. So if you like what you just watched, please subscribe, like, and comment, because I have way more videos coming to you. I'm actually gonna play those 2 basses in other videos, whether a cover or something I come up with. So just stay tuned, subscribe, like. Hey, welcome to the community. We're growing here. I'm excited to have you. See you soon.